Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Tuesday, the 20th of October. Pakistan says no nuclear deal with US during Sharif's visit. Blast in passenger bus kills 11 in southwest Pakistan. And India's Virender Sehwag announces retirement from international cricket. And now for all the details. At least 11 people were killed and over a dozen others were injured in an explosion on a bus in southwestern Pakistan's Balochistan late on Monday. The border province has been roiled by a violent separatist insurgency for decades.
Those injured in the blast are being treated in various hospitals in provincial capital Quetta. The condition of at least 6 of them is said to be still critical. Police have also launched an investigation into the incident. The blast, which was triggered using a timer device, is believed to be planted on the roof of the ill-fated bus. The passenger bus was carrying workers from the centre of Quetta to their homes in the suburbs at the end of the working day. No groups have so far claimed responsibility of the blast. Eyewitnesses said the bus was completely damaged in the powerful explosion.
जो जिंदा था उसको मैंने जल्दी गाड़ी में रखवाया बाकी जितने भी डेड बॉडी बस में थे उन तमाम के सर पड़ चुके थे और फिर इस दौरान मैं ऊपर चढ़ा हूं बस के छत के ऊपर तो वहां भी यही सिचुएशन 2 बंदे वहां पे बैठे हुए थे दोनों के सर पड़ चुके थे और बहुत बुरी हालत में थे इस तरह कंडीशन थी कि कोई भी डेड बॉडी जो ना पहचानने की हालत में नहीं.
Even though any sectarian motives behind the attack has not been established, the restive province has in the past witnessed similar blasts which were targeted at Shias and other religious minorities. More than 1,400 incidents targeting the minority Shia and Hazara community have taken place in the province during the past 15 years. It also happened days before the beginning of Muharram, one of the holiest months in Islam. The Ashura processions by Shias have regularly come under attacks by Sunni militant groups across Pakistan.
Pakistan will not compromise on the country's nuclear program, Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif has said. The country has also ruled out signing a nuclear deal with the US during Prime Minister Sharif's visit to Washington beginning on Wednesday.
Pakistan Foreign Secretary Aizaz Chaudhry has clarified that the much talked about US-Pakistan civil nuclear deal will not materialize soon. He said that during the meeting of Prime Minister Sharif and US President Barack Obama on Thursday, the two leaders will not be discussing the so-called nuclear deal. A statement issued by the White House previewing the visit also mentioned nuclear security and other issues Sharif will discuss with President Barack Obama, but no nuclear deal. Earlier, there were reports that the Obama administration was trying to persuade Pakistan to sign an agreement which will enable Pakistan to join the nuclear suppliers group if it accepts certain restrictions on its nuclear program, much like the deal with Iran. But Prime Minister Sharif, before his departure to the US, reiterated that Pakistan developed its nuclear program under the country's requirement and this position cannot be compromised. Pakistan, which is believed to have the fastest nuclear arsenal in the world, has been urging the US for a civil nuclear deal ever since the Indo-US Civil Nuclear Agreement in 2005.
Moving on to news from Afghanistan, the continuing conflict in Afghanistan has cost the country $9 billion last year, a study have claimed. Analysts believe the figure might exceed staggeringly this year due to the ongoing conflict.
Afghanistan is losing as much as $24 million on a daily basis as the country is battling the Taliban and other extremist groups. This figure is almost 44% of Afghanistan's GDP. The data was revealed by the Equality for Peace and Democracy in its report on Monday. It states that the losses have been incurred mainly due to financial assistance to war victims and other humanitarian assistance, including expenses on public health, disabled individuals, education and immigration. The study also points out that the growing cost has affected other key sectors drastically, with the health and infrastructure being worst hit. The findings show that 60% of the national budget is being spent on security and only 4% on health sector. Analysts have said the cost of war this year will far exceed that of 2014. The report comes at the time when activities by Taliban insurgents are rampant across Afghanistan ever since the militia launched its spring-summer offensive in April this year. Over 26,200 people have been killed in the country in conflicts since 2001.
Indian Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj on Tuesday lauded the role of BRICS in the global economy. The Indian Foreign Minister is in Russia for a two-day visit.
Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj met industry ministers from BRICS countries in Russian capital Moscow. BRICS nations comprises of Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. Addressing the meeting, Swaraj stressed on the importance of BRICS becoming the growth engine of global economy. She also said that the 5 member countries can script the revival of global economy at a time when growth is modest. Swaraj is in the Russian capital for a 3-day visit, during which she will also attend the annual India-Russia Intergovernmental Commission meeting. The talks will be focused on expanding cooperation in trade and investment, particularly in the energy sector, including nuclear power. The two countries have set a target of $30 billion bilateral trade by 2025. Bilateral trade in 2014 stood at $9.51 billion, with Indian exports touching $3.17 billion and imports from Russia $6.34 billion. Russia is also the largest supplier of weapons to India. During her stay in the country, Swaraj will meet top Russian leaders to set the agenda for the Modi-Putin summit later this year. Last year, President Putin's visit to India was heavily curtailed because of his preoccupations at home.
And in Bangladesh, the recent attacks on foreign nationals have affected the country's main income generator, the ready-made garments industry. This comes after investors are refusing to travel to the country, citing security reasons.
Amid growing concerns over the security situation in Bangladesh, the country's garments industry is bracing itself for turbulent days ahead. The industry, which had begun recovering from the losses caused by prolonged shutdowns earlier this year, has now complained that the number of new international orders is coming down. With the upcoming Christmas season, which normally sees an increase in the volume of shipping, many had expected to recover the losses incurred earlier this year. Many factory owners also said international clients have cancelled their trips to Dhaka this month after the killings of 2 foreigners earlier this month. Following the killings of Italian aid worker Cesar Tavella in September and Japanese citizen Kunio Hoshi, many countries had issued advisories to its citizens on travelling to Bangladesh. Even though the Islamic State had initially claimed responsibility, the Sheikh Hasina government has blamed local militant groups for the murders. The $25 billion industry, which employs over 4 million people, mostly women, is considered as the lifeline of Bangladesh's economy.
India's online travel and tourism industry is expected to grow at 12% in the next 3 years, industry experts have said. This is largely due to the greater access to technology and a booming middle class in the country.
India has the second fastest growing travel and tourism industry in the world after China. While the worldwide travel market is clocking just 4% growth, the travel industry in the country is set to grow at a compounded annual growth rate of 12% to reach $27.5 billion in 2016. A large portion of this is through online bookings, a segment that analysts believe still has huge potential for growth. Experts say around 50% of Indians will prefer online selection of places to travel and stay in by 2020 in place of the current 10 to 12%. With the purchasing power of the Indian middle class increasing, industry experts feel that the volume of domestic tourists will also increase in the coming years, thus aiding the online travel and tourism industry in the country.
It was a joy for thrill seekers from across the globe as India's tourist hotspot Goa hosted the first International Mountain Bike Challenge. The 3-day event is set to be an annual affair.
Over 50 cycling enthusiasts from India and overseas participated in the cross-country race in the first edition of the Goa International Mountain Bike Challenge in India's western Goa. Goa's natural terrain provided for an ideal adventurous activity for the challengers.
Very different experience and it was very enjoyable. Lots of harsh rocks and lots of very tough obstacles.
The adrenaline-charged cyclists battled it out in 3 categories of men, women and masters in the extremely tough yet exciting 3-day event. The courses and trails spread across rough forest paths, single double track, smooth fire roads and paved paths connecting other trails.
The environment of festivity is visible all over India as celebration of Durga Puja reached their last few days of crescendo.
As the celebrations of Durga Puja reach the final few days, Hindu devotees and revelers across India in large numbers throng marquees or pandals to worship goddess Durga. The idols of the deity are beautifully decorated that enthrall the visitors. The atmosphere is particularly upbeat in the eastern Kolkata city, where the occasion sees huge community participation. Millions of people from Kolkata and neighbouring areas visit the pandals or tents where the celebrations are held.
I love the environment in the city, though it's pretty crowded everywhere, but you always get to get some time out of your schedule and just chill out and relax.
The annual Hindu festival of Durga Puja marks the victory of goddess Durga over a demon. It epitomizes the victory of good over evil. On the last day of the festival, devotees bid farewell to the goddess and take her out on a final procession through the streets for immersion in the river.
Indian cricketer Virender Sehwag announced his retirement from all forms of the game on Tuesday. The right-hander is regarded as one of the most attacking batsmen in modern-day cricket.
Sehwag made the announcement to call it a day on his 37th birthday. The explosive batsman, who had last played for India in March 2013 against Australia at Hyderabad, has since failed to find his place in the team. The opener was most famous for his batting style, where he attacked pace and spin bowlers alike. Sehwag said he was lucky to play along with some of the greatest cricketers of India.
Very thankful to all the players who played with me, or I played with them. So they helped me a lot, and I learned a lot from them. So I can say that I'm the luckiest guy to play with the legends like Saurav, Sachin, Rahul, VVS Lakshman, Kumble, Srinath, Zahir Khan. So I'm the luckiest one.
Sehwag, who made his Indian team debut in 1999, have scored 8,586 runs at an impressive average of 49.34, hitting 23 centuries and 32 half-centuries from 104 tests in a career spanning over 12 years. He also played in 251 one-days, scoring 8,273 runs at an average of 35.05, including 15 hundreds apart from hitting 38 50s. He is also one of the few batsmen in the game's history to score 2 triple centuries.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Pakistan says no nuclear deal with US during Sharif's visit. Blast in passenger bus kills 11 in southwest Pakistan. And India's Virender Sehwag announces retirement from international cricket. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.